The Russian Residency by Investment program has got some really big changes that just came about in the last few days. Russia has decided to allow dual citizenship for the first time. This is a big change in the way they're doing things on their citizenship program. They want to add about 10 million new citizens to the Russian country, and the reason why is the population is actually aging out, and Russia wants to get new people coming in, and they want people that are entrepreneurs that are coming in that can help build and add a lot to the economy in Russia. So, they're in the process of passing a law that would allow citizens dual citizenship, if a person wanted it. Obviously, most people do want to keep their other passport. They usually cancel it out only if they're required to by law. But the bill also exempts spouses and children of Russian nationals from a 5-year continuous residence requirement in order to become a naturalized Russian. And as of 2nd of October 2019, Russian citizens had visa-free or visa-free on arrival to 117 countries and territories, ranking the Russian passport 48th in terms of travel freedom. Russia started a residency and investment program back in 2014, whereby a passport can be applied for 3 years later. Spouses and dependents citizenship would take longer than the actual investor. There has been a lot of corruption, though, in Russia, and mafia-type, bribes and extortion with business owners. So you need to understand this before you're actually setting up a business in Russia. One nice thing about Russia is that other powerful countries such as the EU or the USA don't really bully Russia around a lot, and not like they do with countries like Panama and other smaller countries. And, if you disagree with this, you can look at what ended up happening with Edward Snowden. And Snowden's not even a citizen of Russia, and he looks like he's been pretty well protected there. This kind of gives you an idea, how strict Russia is in actually protecting their residents as well as citizens. If you get citizenship there, the protection is even better. The residency by investment works as follows. The ruble at the current time that I'm actually doing this video is $1 US equals 75.12 Russian rubles. So you can see the ruble has dropped quite a bit. I remember it was 25 rubles to the dollar not too long ago. But the Russian citizenship by investment program requires only 90 days of physical residence during the initial 1-year period. And you can set up a new business or you can invest into an existing business. You have to have profits in the business of at least 10 million rubles in each of the first 3 years, or that equates to about 133,000 US dollars in today's current conversion rate to be eligible for this passport. You can also invest 10 million rubles or 133,000 US dollars in a large Russian corporation that has at least 100 million rubles in capital, or 1,331,000 US dollars. But you would have to own 10% of the shares of the company and pay taxes of at least 6 million rubles, or about 80,000 US dollars in each of 3 years to qualify for the citizenship. You can sell the assets after you get the citizenship, and due diligence getting a Russian passport is a lot weaker than most passports. So, if you've got a problem or something like this, a background problem, this might be something that you might be looking for. You would also need to know the Russian language to get the passport. In general, tax residence, to give you an example of the taxes that's paid there, is you would pay taxes on your worldwide income at 13%. And while Russian source income is taxed at 30% for non-residents, and the 13% is people that are actually, of course, living there. Self-employed persons pay 4 to 6% on turnover. It's not possible to file joint returns when you're paying taxes in Russia. Russia does have a corporate tax rate of 20%. All right, I'm going to give you my evaluation of this Russian residency by citizenship. and or Russian by residency, and to get a passport. My opinion of this is Russia doesn't have a very good visa-free travel document, and there's no guarantee you're even going to get the passport when you apply, which would be at least 3 years of residency. But I can tell you, with most countries that have residency by investment, you're looking at many years out from the stated period that they're talking about. And there are other issues that can hold you up, and one of them is the language, having to learn the language. But Russia will start allowing for the dual citizenship, but this language could be a real problem because Russian is not an easy language to learn. And this is a huge disadvantage in that, and that not just that, but you're going to be taxed on your worldwide income too if you live there. There's so many other options. You can avoid the worldwide income taxes and also not have a language issue that you're going to have to learn to get the passport. And it's going to take you many years to get this citizenship program, and you might not ever get it. I've seen this happen a lot. But the big advantage, as mentioned earlier, is if you've got a background problem, their due diligence will be a lot slacker. And, once you get approved, you could be protected if you got a problem here. And if you're a bad dude, then this is something you might want to consider. But remember this, a good fast-track citizenship program has these following traits, and we've actually put this in quite a few of the tapes, and you really need to take note of this. And that is, get a citizenship program where you know that you can get as long as you don't have any civil or criminal problems. A lot of residency by investment countries do not go by their statutory requirements after the minimum residency period. And after you've spent all that time and money, and then for some reason you don't get the passport, this is a real problem that I see a lot with many countries. And so you're going to have to take this in consideration. And number two is make sure that the country that you're applying with has no military requirements to get the passport. And number three is make sure that the tax system that's in place for that country has either territorial or is a pure tax haven. Meaning that there's no income taxes either inside or outside the country, or at least they don't tax you on assets or income coming in from outside. Russia taxes you on your worldwide income, so you're not going to get that in Russia. That's a key thing there you need to look at. And number four is make sure if there is a language requirement that that you already know the language ahead of time, because you definitely don't want to get in a situation where you're having to learn this language and it's going to hold you back and trying to make you be held back from getting the passport. And make sure also always verify that you can get dual citizenship. Russia is allowing dual citizenship now. This law's in the process now of getting changed, so you won't have that issue. And always get a passport where you get a lot of visa-free countries. At least get it where the Schengen countries are actually included, and you don't have that with Russia. You do with St. Kitts. With all the Caribbean passports, you'd have the Schengen visa-free travel. Those are the big countries in Europe, and you want to have that, because otherwise you're going to be getting visas everywhere, and this is a real problem. But anyway, if you got a question or comment, if you'll hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, you'll get new videos as they come out. And I'd like to hear from you, if you'll hit the comment section below and put a comment in there. If you got a question or comment, send it to us. And go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and go to the top bar and you'll see the question part. Hit that and send it back to us, and we'll answer any questions that you got. And thanks for watching. I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.